fan blowing on me, and apparently it was affecting the microphone. Is that better? Can you guys still hear me? Is that better? Awesome. Sorry about that. I got alerted in the background. Connor told me that there was some wind noise. I can't hear it because it's just blowing on me. But um, speaking of Connor, let me introduce Connor. He's my son. He's also my right-hand man. He handles most of the business here. I'm the trader guy. I'm the tech guy, and he pretty much handles everything beyond that. So need anything, Connor's your go-to guy. Uh, so Connor will be with us this afternoon. In fact, Connor's going to be reading the chat messages. I'm not going to be reading the chat messages. I'm going to get through this presentation, and if I don't, if I read the messages, I'm going to get off course. So, I actually cover the chat messages up. So if you ask me a question, I'm not going to answer it because I won't see it. But Connor will, and I see that we've got Alex and Aubrey and a number of other of our traders. Speak up if you want to be recognized or you want to help answer questions. Um, we've got Alan. Alan's here. Alan's killing it. Alan's doing great with our system. We've got a number of our traders here, so they will help to answer questions that I won't see. If you have something specifically that you want to ask me, just wait until the end and answer your questions, okay? And you'll have to ask it again. If you already asked it once, you'll have to ask it again, okay? So with all of that being said, I'm going to cover up the chat and we're going to get started, okay? If I need to stop or if my microphone goes out or the projection, something happens, Connor will let me know, okay? All right. My name is Tony Peterson. I started the Intentional Trader, gosh, I guess it's almost 10 years now, and we've been going strong for quite some time. I was a struggling trader. I tried trading for 7 years, and I was just horrible at it. I made every mistake that everybody else has ever made, and then some. Okay, and I learned a lot through that process because I've been a struggling, we can call it a trader, and I managed to turn that around into being a successful trader. Okay. Today we're going to talk about a lot of the stuff that I learned along the way from being a struggling trader. And struggling can be from losing a lot of money to just not really getting any traction and just continuously break even. Okay? None of us got into trading for either of those reasons. We all got into trading to potentially generate some sort of income. Well, I say we all. Some of us got into trading because it's just fun and it's exciting and it's a fun hobby to have, and it beats video games, so we get into trading. So there are people that are hobbyists in trading. But by and large, I think most of us got into trading because we want to generate some sort of income. Now, we all come into trading with some assumptions and expectations about trading. I'm going to probably ruin some of those for you. As a failed trader and who failed for 7 years and then turned it around, I learned a few things. So I'm asking you all during this presentation to keep an open mind that you don't just need to hear the things you think you need to hear, okay? You're going to get something out of it if you just listen. And if you keep an open mind, you will, I promise, you will get something out of this, This is going to be, if you listen carefully, much more informative and helpful than if I was doing a presentation and showing you a bunch of my static charts and indicators, even though we think that's what we need. We are going to talk about our trading system. We are going to talk about, and I'm going to show you what we do. I am going to show you charts and indicators. I'm going to show you live charts and indicators, not static charts, historic charts. But I want you to right now kind of get your head into this whole thing the mental part of trading, okay? This guy right here pretty much sums up my first 7 years of trading. This guy, this expression right here. You can read on his face how he's feeling. He's exasperated, demoralized, empty, pained, confused. Everything I felt over those 7 years when I was really, really wanting to learn how to trade and was struggling mightily. I think most of us can probably identify with the emotions that this guy is expressing. And this is how I usually looked at the end of a trading day, okay? Most of us generally have some successes, right, when we first start trading because it's fun, it's exciting. You make a few bucks and then you get hooked and you start thinking, like all of us do the same thing. Hey, I could actually generate a regular income at this. So we start trying to do that, and then we keep thinking that initial rub that we had is going to be the thing that continues for us. We need that rush, that adrenaline feel that we got when we first started winning, okay? But ultimately, by the end of a trading day, we all started feeling like this guy, right? When am I going to learn? When am I going to stop doing those stupid things? What do I have to do to become a successful trader? But, I mean, that's me sitting on the couch after a trading day. But by the time the next day rolls around, I'm all excited again of the potential of what today could bring. But typically each day, especially if I was in a trading room, right? When I was struggling, I was jumping from trading room to trading room, trying to find that guy that had the secret formula that was going to tell me when to push the button. So I'd jump from trading room to trading room, and I would try to figure out what he was talking about. And there would always be people in the trading room that would win, all the time. That's all they ever posted was their wins. And I'd be like, man, I'm so dumb because I'm not getting this. I don't get it at all. So you feel like the dumbest person on the planet, right? You try and this trading thing is just escaping you. One of the things that generally occurs to you, and when I say you, I'm only thinking back on my experiences, and I'm taking my experience with talking to other traders. All right, so when I say you, generally I pretty much know how you feel or what you've been through. And I can tell you that when you lose a trade, you think you did something wrong. So your efforts are to not do that wrong thing again. So your criteria is, hey, if the trade wins, I did something right. If the trade loses, I did something wrong. And of course, you're losing more trades than you're winning. So this is when doubt and fear start to creep in. Now, for those of you that just joined us or you're starting to get a little antsy, I promise you this is worthwhile. You are going to get something out of this. And I am going to address some of your issues with, I just want to see charts and indicators and a trading system that works. We're going to get there. promise you, you got to hang in there. Some of you will find this incredibly boring because it pertains to you. I happen to know it does pertain to you. So just hang in there with me for just a few minutes if you don't mind. So here's where the trouble starts. Doubt and fear start to creep in. Most of us had those successes initially that got us hooked. We looked at trading and maybe played with it and we go, oh, yeah, I can make a living at this. And the successes that seem so easy at first suddenly aren't happening anymore. You start getting hammered. Your unrealistic expectations start to get the better of doubt and fear, but are trading partners. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to go back. That's all right. So you start approaching trading with this new anticipation of something bad is about to happen. It happened yesterday. That's what happened the day before that. And the day before that. And maybe you had a winning day, but the day before that, okay? Now you might try positive thinking. I can do this. Wrong things. Start doing the right things. I can do this. But our subconscious is telling us what to expect. And that is what we usually get from trading. Our subconscious is telling us to prepare for being a loser again today. We want to be winners, but we have prepared to be a loser yet again. Okay. So we need to change that doubt into believing we can do it. Muhammad Ali said it's the repetitions of affirmation that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. Okay? He didn't say affirmations lead to belief. Okay? You can't just believe. He said the repetition of affirmations. Very profound statement. So he didn't say just believe. Believing is not good enough. You've got to know that you can do it and that you can make those changes. But here's better than knowing. How about just proof? That's what I'm going to show you today. How to prove to yourself that you can do it. I'm betting many of serious doubts that I can do that. You might be thinking maybe this trading thing is not for me. We have a lot of people that come to us and say, you were my last hope. This was my last stop. I was giving up on being a trader if this second brain trading didn't work for me. We have a lot of people come to us with that. So I'm going to suggest many of you are trying to trade a chart that looks something like this. And if I were trying to show you a trading system that worked and that was easy and that trade without hesitation, that you could trade without indecision, that you could trade with utter confidence that that trade was going to win, would you find it on this chart? Not likely. Too many areas of gray, too many places for you to get confused, too many different decisions to have to be made. So what about this chart? Do you think I could show you exactly where to enter a trade, why to enter that trade, how to manage that trade and what to expect out of that trade from a very simple trading chart like this. So the chart on the left almost seems like it's trying to confuse you. These gray areas give the indicator and system developer an out. Have you ever noticed that? I don't know how many of you have been to trading rooms, and it always seems like the moderator has some sort of an out because he can find some gray area that he can point to and say, oh yeah, that's why I didn't get into that trade, or that's why I did, or that's why you lost and I didn't. Okay? And you go, oh yeah, I remember those gray areas. Yeah, I guess I should have paid more attention to that. And you can never seem to be right. Now, if you believe things have to be complicated to be good, then maybe the chart on the left is for you. To me, that kind of trading caused me to second guess my decisions, made me to become emotional, both all before, during, and after a trade. Chart on the right has no gray areas. There's one point of entry with very concise rules based on your risk tolerance levels, not somebody else's. This is the type of trading that we just follow simple rules which can diminish or remove most of the mistakes that you've, including the mistake of thinking that this type of trading can't be done to generate enough income. Take a quick look. We trade for 5 ticks per trade. That's it. Okay? 5 ticks. Results from the trade room. I took 7 winning trades of 5 ticks, 1 winning trade of 3 ticks, and 1 trade I took a loss of 7 ticks. Now, if you look up there at the top, you do the math. Can you make enough money at this? You figure it out. I'm not going to put it right in your face. Figure it out. So, you've probably got a list of bad habits that you've been struggling with. And the only way, it's almost impossible to remove a bad habit. You generally have to replace a bad habit. I love Yoda. You must unlearn what you have learned. It's a great quote. So what is that you have learned? Or worse, what you have assumed? Again, I'm asking you guys, hang in there. This is going to be worth it, I promise you. And you are going to get some of those. What have you assumed about trading that you may not even know that you've assumed? Trading is about money. That's an assumption. It's not. You'll become a better trader by reading trading forums, by watching videos, by attending webinars like this one, by managing your emotions. You can't. By finding new stuff to put on your charts. You've assumed that you can probably just copy someone else's trades. You may have found out now that you can't. You may have assumed that the more information you gather, the more knowledge you have, the more power you have to influence the markets or your trading account balance. Trading should be easy. There's an assumption. Trading is hard. There's an assumption. Trading is exciting. I can promise you it's absolutely not. Or fascinating. And that you think you work hard at your trading. Okay? Because you do all of those first few things, the forums and videos and webinars and trying to manage your and all that stuff. All right. Now, just to show you that I know what you're thinking, I know what you've been through, I know what you're going through, and I know how traders think. I can tell you what most of you are thinking right now. I got the chat since we started. There's a good chance somebody's already typed it in the chat. I have it covered up. Connor and I have this little chat messenger thing that we use for work. We don't in the same location. And so he's typing to me on the back thing. So I take that little box and I cover up your chat so I don't see it and go off track. But there's a good chance somebody's already typed this in. I wish this guy would shut up and show me some charts and indicators. That's probably what at least a few of you are thinking right now. Because that's what you believe is the most important thing to know about a successful trader. Charts and indicators are what you see. They're the tangibles. You don't want to deal with the intangibles because you then have to be accountable. You have to be accountable for your decisions rather than making, you'd rather just have the chart and indicators be accountable so you can just learn the mechanics. Let me tell you something. Mechanics of trading, the entry and entry management exit, that's the easy part. That's 20% of what you need to know to be successful. Yet, most of you believe it's 100% of what you need to know. It's only 20%. Huh, must have skipped a slide or something. Let me show you something. This was today in the trade room. This slide got out of order. Hold on, that's not it, that's not it. Oh, that's the one that was supposed to be, these got out of order. So the easiest part of trading is the mechanics, the tangibles, things you see, things you can buy, things that can remove blame and accountability from you. And put it on the computer or the indicator or the indicator developer or whatever. I can provide you with indicators. I cannot provide with a box of competence. I can't provide you with experience. Charts and indicators are the fun stuff. They're interesting, and it's what we're looking at. It's what we relate to trading. And we're all looking for ways to remove ourselves from accountability by putting all of our hopes and dreams on the backs of the mechanics of the trading, the tools. But what did I just say? Charts and indicators are nothing but tools. They don't actually do anything but tell us that certain conditions exist in the market. Okay, most of us approach trading as hobbyists. It's fun, it's interesting, it's fascinating. All right, now I'm going to go back to this. For those of you that have completely lost your mind and you absolutely need to see some charts and indicators, here you go. Thought I'd show you today in the trade room, and we're going to show you a trading system that is very simple. It has a very defined and definite edge that we trade every day. All right, I'm going to run this video. Connor put this together just a little while ago, and this is about a 4-minute video. And this is just of some of the trades that we took today. Now you're going to learn a lot. Here's what I want you to watch. I want you to listen to me on the mic during the trading session. I want you to hear how I call out trades prior to trade entry. I want you to watch the indicators print and how they print on the charts and when they print. Okay, and when I say the order execution is. Okay, so watch that very carefully, and then we'll talk as we move on. Okay. YM, there's our rock star. Short the YM right here. All right, I shorted the YM. Got just a little bit better fill because it backed up. +5. All right, quick look at this. Notice the push up. Notice the black bars. There's our momentum, strong momentum. We hit the high of the day. We pushed it up a little bit. We have an overbought condition. Speed tick, pullback alert, open of the bar with a rock star, and that's exactly where you would short it right here. This, look at this, suggesting this little bit of a pullback. Now, the information we have suggests this pullback, not a pullback that goes and goes and goes and goes, or a reversal. This does not give us any indication of any kind of reversal, although it could be the beginning of one. We don't know that. We have a very tight sweet spot that we know with a high degree of probability that we're going to get this pullback right here. That's a very strong edge that can be exploited very easily, very regularly, over and over again. This is how you get or become successful. You find something that's easily exploitable, and you do it over and over and over again. I'm watching the GC and the YM right now. All right, I bought the GC. Oh, nice. It dropped as I was buying the GC. And I got a nice fill on that. Got a nice fill on the YM. So I bought GC and I sold the YM. Notice the GC opened and dropped. So I got a fill much than the open of the bar. So there's +5 on the GC. And +5 on the YM. So here it is, 950. I've had 3 winners in a row. I'm now stopping trading live, and I'll be trading sim for the rest of the session. Watching the CL. Sold the CL. There it is, +5. Keep an eye on the NQ. Right, I bought the NQ. It dropped. Okay, it dropped a tick, so I got a better fill. Or dropped 2, I'm not sure, but there's a +5 right. Look at this push. Oversold. Speed tick. Rockstar, low of the day. There's our sweet spot. We all hit our target, and now it can do whatever it wants to do. Alright, that Rockstar qualified on the CL because I had that high of day with it. Did not need to be, well, it also had the pullback alert, but it did have resistance behind it. So this would not be considered a naked rock, so therefore it qualified. And there it is, +5. All right, so that was a few of the trades we took today in the trade room. Very straightforward, okay? And you guys want to know, and you want to see indicators and you want to see chart. Brett, I believe that charts and indicators. Yes, I had one loser. In fact, I said that earlier today. I had 7 winners and 1 loser today. I could show you a loser, but everybody's seen that, right? Everybody knows what losers look like. I put on an order, and within about 30 seconds, that order was hit. My stop was hit. I have losses every day. I could have showed you that. Who knows what that looks like? But still, I know you believe. I could. Connor will put it up. Who was here in the trade room? Anybody in the trade room here today? Anybody that's here in this? Alan, you're here. Are you still here? Alan saw me get spanked. I got spanked, and I could show it. Why? Okay, that's fine. It's on the trade room video. Yeah, we all take losses. Seven ticks if it goes straight to my stop. Here's the interesting thing. I'm going to get back to and I promise I'm not going to read the chat too long. In fact, here's the thing. You guys, Alan and Alex, you guys go ahead and Marshall and Aubrey, you guys go ahead and answer the questions. I'm going to go back to the presentation. All right. So I've been through a lot that a lot of traders have not been through. I've struggled a lot. I've through the ringer. And I came out the other side with a whole new understanding about trading and what I was focusing on, what I was working on, what I was concentrating on. I had a whole new understanding. And I realized that I didn't know what I didn't know. And because of that, and having talked to hundreds of other traders since then, most traders don't know what they don't know. So you come into trading and you start looking for certain answers. You start asking questions. You just start plowing for based on what you think you know. And it's because this illusion of this thing that we call trading that for whatever reason has become just counterintuitive to everything learned up to now. So here's what I know that you need to know. And I only know this not because I'm particularly smart. It's because I'm particularly stubborn. And I managed to find my way through the maze or through the forest, and I got to the other side. If you've ever learned any skill in your lifetime, any skill, golf, crochet, art, any skill that you think you have, then you can learn to trade. The answer to your struggles, the answer to everything that you need to know about trading to become successful aren't out there somewhere. They're not out there. You already have them. Gathering and collecting all the information that's out there on the internet, whether it's on forums or YouTube or webinars or whatever, it's mostly a waste of your time. You only need a very slight edge to be a successful trader. I'll refer you to the industry of gambling for that. I am not a disciplined trader. Now, I've been trading for a long time for an income. And I don't consider myself disciplined. I consider, because to be disciplined, that means like, okay, so let's use an example. Let's say you're on a diet and you walk by this plate of freshly peanut butter cookies, but you're on this diet and you can't be, and you're like, oh, I want to eat one of those cookies so bad. I just want to do it so bad. But you keep saying, oh, I've got to be disciplined. I can't eat that cookie. I'm gonna not do it. And so that's exercising discipline. A lot of times we have to exercise discipline in trading because you see something, you go, oh, that looks like, I know price is going to do something, and I'm going to put on this trade. Okay, so you hear about this. In fact, there's a book titled Disciplined Trader. Guy's very smart, very well. None of it applied to me. A great book. None of it applied to me. I could not make any of it work because I realized later I can't be a disciplined trader. It's just not in my nature. You do not need to be disciplined to be successful. Oh, what happened? Where'd it go? Oh, many of you have gotten to this point. Some of you haven't yet because maybe you're still a little bit new in trading. If you've been in trading for a year or more or so, you probably decided that there is no trading system out there that works because you've tried so many. You're going to try to create your own. And I'm saying this because I know I did this and I've talked to just hundreds of other traders. And you feel like you put together this system and you feel like you're really close to having a winning system. You're really close and you work at it and you work at it and you work at it and you just never quite get there. And I tell you that you're really not close. And I can promise you that within just a few days or weeks, you can become a winning trader, and I can prove it to you, and you can start immediately. Motivation gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Okay, so let's create a winning habit. So if you need something like this and you're not seeing the success you want, let's just get rid of it. Let's use something much more simple. Now, if you're one of those people that believes it's got to be complicated or it's not going to work, fascinating, or you love the sport of it, then be that guy. If you just want to follow some very simple yet extremely powerful trading indicators and trade setups, take a look at what we're doing. Okay? If you and that's why you do it, you're probably more of a hobbyist. Okay? So we've got the guy on the left, upper left. He believes you have to know how a car works to get it to function the way you want it to function, to get, to understand all the inner workings of a car to be able to use it. Okay, he knows a lot about cars, loves cars, likes to work on them. Like, that's fine. There are people like that, and that's fine. Or and he's going to be probably going to be, and as it relates to trading, he's going to like that very complicated, confusing chart. Then there's those of us that just like to use cars as a tool to accomplish a task. Don't really care how it works. It's a tool. Gets me from point A to point B. Now, not to say I'm not going to tell you what makes this work. I do that a lot. In fact, Saturday we're going to send you an invitation to a video that we pre-recorded that you can watch over the weekend um, at your leisure. And I'll teach you about why this works, why our trading system works, if you need to know that. But let's go back to creating habits, good habits, winning habits. So how do we go about creating a new habit? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn to do something simple, very, very simple. And we're going to do it over and over and over again. Step 2, we're going to repeat step 1. This is how you create a new habit. And it takes 2 to 3 full months to not just create new habits, but overwhelm old habits with the new habit. Okay? So I'm going to show you this. We have a trading system. It's really simple. When you have a condition that exists, then you look for the next condition. If at any point along the line the condition doesn't exist, then you stop and you wait. And that's all there is to it. So we look for something like this. This is what we're looking for. It doesn't have to be a huge move. It's a big move relative to what's been going on recently. Okay, you can see that here where recently and nothing's been going on, and all of a sudden, bam, takes off. Here's the important part about this big move. It creates an opportunity, but not an opportunity for me. It creates an opportunity for traders that are currently in the market. What are those opportunities? Well, you notice how price rushes uphill, right? It was just kind of chugging along, and then all of a sudden it shoots straight up. Well, what if you were already in a trade and you were short? You'd probably be panicking, right? You'd either be getting stopped out, or price would be pushing so far away from your target, you're going to panic and want to get out. Or if you're already in a trade and you're long, or it was a buy order, what do you like prices move that far that fast? You're probably going to take some profits. Regardless of what's happening to whether you're a buyer or a seller, the net result is the same. A sudden and unexpected reaction, or a sudden and unexpected push like this, will cause people to suddenly start selling. up here. Whether it's selling out of panic or selling out of greed, it doesn't matter. We don't care. All we need to do is anticipate what a crowd of people, everybody that's currently trading, is going to do after that sudden and unexpected event, that sudden and unexpected movement. Okay? 5 easy steps to turning your trading around and to develop a habit of winning. First, you got to identify a trading as an edge. I just showed you a trading system that we used today, earlier this morning. 8 wins, 1 loss. Okay, so I would call that an edge. So there's the results of today in the trade room. Now, we're going to make this really easy for you. At the end of this, we're going to have a special offer. Oh, and that we're going to make it even easier. For those of you that qualify, PayPal won't bill you anything for 6 months. Okay, so step 1 of this system, we're looking for a really strong push. This is our trading system. This is what we do. We have our momentum indicator. That's these bars that go from black to white. The lighter the bar gets, now you have the option to change these colors. It's inside. The lighter the bar gets, the more imminent the pullback. Okay, so we're looking for strong push. We are then looking for price exhaustion. We read that a number of ways. A couple of ways. This outline tells us that price is overbought. This little dot with a 2 in it tells us that the volume coming inside the bar was very heavily weighted toward buying until we reached a price level where all the sellers were sitting and waiting. And we get this churning action of buying up in here. When that happens, the buyers are usually caught off guard. The sellers are well in control, even though price is still hanging around up in here. We know that the buyers are probably out of gas, so they don't have a whole lot to fight with. The sellers are not out of gas. They've been sitting up here waiting so they could sell this off. That's what that dot is. All right, that's our pullback alert. Now we read how fast the bar, the ticks are coming into this bar. And that tells us that the market makers have most likely entered this market. And the result of that is panic and greed. That's that upthrust bar that I showed. When that happens, when the market makers do their thing, they're manipulating the markets for a reason. You ask yourself, why would they do this? Why would they do this? Well, panic and greed are going to step in and price is going to drop. The underlying momentum is no longer in agreement with price. Price and momentum generally move together. If you want to learn a lot more about divergence, send us an email, either Connor at support@theintentionaltrader.com, and we'll send you a link to a webinar all about divergence. When you have a push like this and divergence sets in, price is almost always going to follow divergence. These are 2 of our divergence indicators here. Trade, step 5, is to be executed on the order open of this bar. Now, as happened today in the trade room, this bar opened here, and this is where you would short it. But the bar actually, as soon as it opened, it jumped up here, and I actually would short it up here. And it happened in the trade room earlier today. several times, in fact. If I can get a better fill, when I'm shorting, price jumps up. If I can get a better fill up here, I'm going to get it. But technically speaking, this is where you're going to short it. Now, here's an update to everything I just told you. Step 1 still applies. Step 2 through 5, we've consolidated into a single indicator called the rock star. All right? It's the rock star in action. On the left, we have a blank chart. On the middle, we have all of the indicators that make up a rock star indicator. On the right, we'll print the rock star, okay? So we'll just let this play. And if you were just trading blank charts, you would have really no idea anything's going on here. Here we have, I kind of out of sync a little bit. There we go. An oversold condition, which is telling us that this hard drop here, there's exhaustion. We're also seeing that this bar is being manipulated by the market makers. Now we have development of this bar, and up it goes. That rock star has all of this inside of it, and you can just use that rock star. Now, I still use these things because it gives me a heads up. So price moves on and down it goes again. We have an oversold condition. We have a speed tick. We're waiting for the open of the next bar. We have divergence. Up it goes. There's our rock star. Let's see. Oh, let's back that up a little bit. All right, oversold. Speed tick, divergence, rock star over here. All right, I could do this all day long. We're going to identify the system that has an edge. I don't know how many ways to demonstrate our system that has an edge. We demonstrate it in the trade room every day. We put up videos. We do web. I mean, we have a very obvious edge against the markets. Okay, so I've just showed you that. Step 2 to developing a winning habit. Focus on trade and winning just one small trade per trading session. Most of you have sat and watched the charts and go, oh, I know, based on my intuition, which is usually developed by watching charts for a long time. You have a pretty good idea that price is going to move in a particular direction for a little while. In fact, that's what kind of got me started on this whole thing. And you could probably say, I'm almost certain to win at least one tick per day. Most of us feel fairly confident we could win one tick per day. But nobody wants to do that because what are you going to get out of that? Not much, really, as it relates to money. Step 3. Once you've hit that winning trade, whether it's one tick or two or whatever, stop trading live and continue trading in sim. You heard me talk about in the today, that video, that the first 3 trades I took today were live. I hit my target of 3 winning trades per day, and I stopped trading live and I moved to sim and I traded the rest of the day in sim. Okay? So my suggestion for creating this habit, remember we're doing something very slow and we're going to do it over and over and over again. Try to win 1, 2, 3 ticks a day. That's it. That's it. And then stop trading live and continue trading in sim mode. Okay? Regardless of what happens while you're in sim, you're going to record today as a winning day because you stopped trading live when you were a winner. Now, record how many days in a row or how many days in a month that you can end as a winner and make it visual. All right, Connor says there's a couple of questions. Where do I start? Mio, it's the same. I have my net wins or net losses is the same. It's 3. If I have 3 net wins per day, I stop trading live and go to sim. If I have 3 net losses per day, I stop trading live and go to sim. I will, on probably 2 to 3 days a month, I will take 3 net losses. The rest of the days I either never get to my target of 3 net wins or I hit 3 net wins and I go to sim. One minute bars. What is the other question, Connor? I'm almost done here, so let me finish up. Let me finish up. Entry. So am I able to enter enough practice? Same way you would do anything that you needed to get good at. You practice. No special software, just NinjaTrader and our indicators. So what are we getting out of these 5 easy steps? What are the results? We've lowered our self-doubt. We have higher expectations of having a winning day. We have more confidence when we go into the trading day. There's much less fear, stress, or panic involved. And you've become conditioned to know that you can do this. You've proven to yourself that you can be a winner. So remember what Muhammad Ali said, it's the repetition of affirmation that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. And I suggest that most of you don't have a belief in yourself that has as it relates to trading that has become a deep conviction. Okay, you've got to get to that part. And then we get it where it's an automatic reflex. Okay, I'm going to answer your questions here in just a second. We did have some people in the back ask us about special offer going on. We have probably 5. How many different? I think we have 6 different packages. We're going to run a special offer on 2 of them: the Brain Boost package and the Einstein, the new version of what we used to call the VIP package. Okay, so we'll talk about the Brain Boost package. We've got all of these indicators in the Brain Boost package and 2 weeks free in the trade room. Okay. If you bought each of these separately, it'd be $15.68. As a bundle, we charge $13.33. But today we're going to do it, or until Wednesday, we're going to do it for $9.94. Okay. Now, the most popular package is the Einstein or VIP package, where you get every indicator that we have, plus every indicator that we'll have. Anything we develop, you get it for free. You get unlimited trade room. You get our accelerated fast forward training program. You get some priority support. We've got a mentoring session we do every Wednesday with me. We also have a few products that we're developing that is, we've already released it to our VIPs, called the Essential Add-on Suite for NinjaTrader 8. If you haven't noticed, NinjaTrader 8 is missing a lot of stuff. We're adding it back in. If you use Market Replay, or what NinjaTrader now, NinjaTrader 8, they're calling it Playback. If you use that at all, we'll give you the, we also own the Market Replay data download software. We'll give you a free subscription to that, so you don't have to pay for that. Anything we develop for the trade room in the future, you get for free. For example, we have a new indicator called NRS Zone that we just released, and everybody, all the VIPs got it for free. Okay. So that's a $68.90 value. If you bought it in a bundle off the website, it's $58.56. We're going to do it for $46.99 for this special. All right. So that's all of the presentation. And now I'll go to questions. I tell you what, I'm going to start with Jose, and I'm not going to read backwards. If you have a question for me, put it in again. You could use it for Renko bars. I'm still not real clear on why people use Renko bars, because they create a really pretty chart, nice and clean. I guess that's why people use them. They remove what people call noise. To me, noise is that beautiful music. The market makers and most professional traders trade based on time. Removing time from trading is a huge mistake as far as I'm concerned. Renko charts look beautiful. I was drawn to them, as well as range charts. And I even looked at all of the hybrids. I don't know anybody, not to say they're not out there, I don't know anybody that uses exclusively Renko charts successfully. I know there are some that say they do. I don't really know anybody that does. Yeah, Brett, in fact, that was something I meant to put on this slide. We don't offer it, but if you, PayPal will. And if you can't work with PayPal, contact Connor. Connor might be able to work up something with you depending on what it is that you're after. Yeah, there is an option during checkout for 6 months, no payments for PayPal credit. Any other questions? I said I was going to start with Jose. If you have a question and you, I'm going to read back and find your question. I'm just not going to, because there's too many. But if you have any questions for me, go ahead and put it in again, and I'm happy to answer your questions. If you have any other questions, just contact us at support@theintentionaltrader.com, and that's our help desk, and we'll be happy to answer them that way. All right, well, if we don't have any other questions coming in, I'm assuming that we just blew you away and you guys are trade all futures markets. We trade the 6E, which is the euro currency, the YM, which is the Dow index, the CL, which is oil, the GC, which is gold, the NQ, which is NASDAQ, and the ES, which is the S&P 500. All futures. At some point, we may drop the 6E. I'm not sure yet, and go back to the Russell. It used to be the Russell used to be the TF, and then they changed exchanges and price went up, and everybody stopped trading it, and now they're back, and they're the RTY, and so we may change over to the RTY as soon as the volume is back. All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming. Have a great rest of your evening. Send us some information. We're going to send you all in a pre-recorded event, Rockstar training event that we did just a week or two ago, and we'll send that over to you sometime on Saturday. Okay. Got to register for it though, so make sure you're all registered. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming, and we'll talk to you all soon. Yes, Rockstar is only for NT8.